just because you want to get clients and book tables, you don't have to be a hoe.
Yeah, a bottle of Grey Goose went through my ass.
There are black cards that have declined. Brazilians don't really tip at all.
Why?
Shut the up. You told me you were going to give me cash. Like, what's up?
Bless us really well. It's like 10K.
Okay. In one night, probably like 7K.
Next thing you know, you're naked in a bed and you don't know where you're at.
I'm
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Industry 305 podcast number 4, episode number 4. And today's a special one. Actually, my name is Juan. We have my friend Carlos over here.
What's up, mi gente? Welcome back.
Welcome back. And today's a special episode because we have another guest. Last one, we brought Mr. Fabricio over to Negroni. Actually, he brought us over to Negroni. Thank you for all the support, for commenting, liking, sharing. Today, we have our first woman to appear in the episode, in the podcast, and I think we're going to introduce her. What do you think, Carlos?
Directamente desde la Isla del Encanto, Stephanie! Let's go! Welcome. Very honored to have you here. Thank you for, accept our invitation. And, to be that positive to say, you know what, guys, let's do it. I love it. That's really nice. And we really appreciate that. Welcome, Stephanie. Okay, why we have Stephanie here? Stephanie, one of the legends, the nightlife legends here in Miami. Stephanie, introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Stephanie Pagan. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. And I got started in the industry very young at 21. I moved to Vegas for a year, and I absolutely hated it. But, yeah, that's how I got started. And I actually lied on my resume about my experience because I needed a job, and I needed to make money, and I knew the girls that did bottle service were making a ton of money. So, yeah, that's how I got started.
Guys, don't do this at home, okay?
Yeah,
don't lie
do this
on the
at home.
resume.
Don't listen to my advice. It's not an advice, okay? I'm just letting you know my story. That's it.
Actually, I think we can all relate because I've also, in the beginning, it's hard to jump into this industry. You need to show some sort of awareness of what's going on. So you either have somebody that helps you out to get into the place.
A plug.
Or, a plug, yep.
Yeah.
But I can relate to her. I understand, yeah. In Vegas, I think we both have some sort of connection with Vegas too,
Oh, 3 of us live in Vegas. People think is one thing what you see in the movies and it's another thing what you really realize when you're there. It's not that. I think Miami is crazier than Vegas. What do you think?
You asking me?
Yeah.
100.
Oh, Stephanie.
Oh, well, both of us. I mean,
Yeah.
Stephanie first.
Miami's something different. I think Miami, I actually moved to Miami a year later, and as soon as I got here, I was like, this is the wild, wild west of
real wild west
nightlife, of literally anything. Miami's a big melting pot, and Miami has so many different places that you can go, has a different vibe, and you can find different kinds of people everywhere you go. So if you want to have a certain type of night, if you want to be more chill, you go to Wynwood. If you want to, party really hard, you go to South Beach and all those things. So, and in Vegas, if you go to one club, you're going to find the same people at the next club and the next club and at the casinos. So yeah, that mixture of culture and people is, I think, what makes it a chaos.
Can you share a little bit with us what was for you stepping in as a woman in this industry, such a rough industry for you, stepping in this Miami environment? Share us a little bit about those stories.
Stepping into the industry in Miami was obviously a lot more different than Vegas because Vegas was so corporate and, you weren't allowed to drink on the job. It was so strict. And once I moved here, I realized that the way that people work and the way that venues are ran are very different. So yeah, when I got here, I was like, wait, this is like a lot of fun.
I think in Miami you need to be a little bit more welcoming, right? like a little bit more like, hey, let's
Yeah.
go.
One thing that I've heard or people say about Miami is that what's good about Miami is that it's really close to the United States. Miami is its own thing. You know what I'm saying? So
In Miami is its own country.
No,
Let's
it's-
put
You
it
see
at
that
that.
meme that the guy's like, oh yeah, but you're from Florida, and he's like, no, I'm from Miami.
No, I'm from Miami. Exactly. It's totally
No, I'm
different
from
things.
Miami.
Yeah,
this
no.
place is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Stephanie, back at it, can you share with us maybe some challenges that you have experienced? Some personal experiences in this industry. Being bottle service girls. Share with us. Talk to the people. Suéltate.
I think one of the biggest challenges has been obviously the misconception and being judged by people, because obviously I'm a bottle server and they see these pretty girls parading around and serving drinks, talking to the clients, and try to get that upsell and all these things. But it's been, I think for me it's been more of trying to just be my own person and reflect always my morals and my values and be professional, so that people understand exactly why I am the way I am, and for them to kind of maybe change their mind a little bit about that misconception. So I think it's
Because let's be real, when you stepping in a club and you see, beautiful girls around, people have a misperception of that.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes you have a different vision about it, but some of you guys, I will not say everybody, but some of you guys are really working and hustling and providing to your house, and it's
Yeah.
difficult for people to look in the other side and say, oh, she's pretty, what she's doing here. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
Yeah, I honestly, I think a lot of people think that it's a little bit glamorous. And to be honest, I don't think there's anything glamorous about it, besides the fact that we have to go into work, with our hair done and looking good and all these things. But there's a very, not, I wouldn't say dark side, but there's a side that people don't see. And it's the long hours, my sleeping patterns are crazy. And during Music Week, Art Basel, all of these big holiday weekends in Miami, last Music Week I worked 65 hours in 4 days, which is crazy. Like, I don't even want to think about the
Wow,
hours
that's
that I
crazy.
slept.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
I
I
remember you telling me about that.
yeah, and I was down for the entire week after that. Every time a big weekend happens, I get sick. So it's just, I think a lot of people don't see that. So they just think like, oh, she's out having fun. Like it's a party, and it is a very lighthearted atmosphere in a sense, but people don't see the hours. They don't see, sometimes I wake up during those weekends and I cry for 5 minutes in my bed, just to like, get it out of my
Decompress, of
system.
course.
Yeah, just to get it out of my system. I cry because I know what's going on for the rest of the day, for the rest of my night. So yeah, I feel like people don't see that, and this
And
is,
especially working with the really type of special clientele that you work. Because
Yeah.
one thing is working in restaurants, and I think nightclubs have a completely different environment because people are a little bit more aggressive. When you mix everything with alcohol, things can go wrong in any second. And then you need to be on it too, because you say, okay, if I start drinking like a guest, how my night is going to end up?
yeah.
That I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure a lot of people feel in this position at the time that you say, yeah, I'm having shots with the guests, but I'm
At what
working.
cost?
Yeah, I'm working.
What cost?
I'm working. I need to protect my money first.
Yeah.
At all costs.
That's
Yeah.
why we kind of one of the foundations of this podcast. Sorry, is that we're exposing kind of like the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's on paper and what you may make in a night as a server, as a bottle service, whatever. It seems good, but what people don't see is behind the scenes, like
Yeah.
the
The
late
long
nights,
hours.
having to maybe take a shot that, hey, listen, sometimes we don't want to, but
Yeah.
you know that it's going to make the guests feel comfortable,
Yeah.
and your tip possibly rides on you taking that shot or
Yeah.
not. So
Yeah.
what am I going to do? I'm going to take the shot because
Yeah.
if the person is comfortable with me, then I might get a bigger tip.
Yeah, and I feel like these were things that obviously I learned with time and with experience, that it's not just I thought at the beginning my job was just to look pretty and serve drinks and make the guests happy. But there was a lot of things behind the scenes that I didn't know about, which is you have to be really good at talking to people. And you have to know how to deal and manage different types of personalities when you're at work, because not everyone's the same. Some people come in drunk already.
Yeah.
They come on extracurricular activities, you know, and yeah,
Miami guys.
Yeah, and dealing with that, and dealing with people also that have a lot of money, because I know a lot of people that are extremely wealthy, that are very generous and are very humble, but there are those types of people that will come into work and, you know, they think they're king of the world because they have money, and they treat people like shit, and they talk down and all these things. So knowing how to juggle and how to manage those personalities, it's a work in itself.
Respect your wait staff, you know, especially
Yes.
bottle servers, especially a female. First of all,
Yes.
let me start off by saying
Yeah,
that.
because some people
Yeah.
go to the club and they think like they're there for everything. You know what I mean? Like when I'm talking
Yeah.
about everything, I'm talking about, you know, I can make this girl any offer that I want. What do you
Yeah.
think about that? I think it's really hard for you guys to manage that, right?
Yeah. No, but I you know what the problem is? I think there's a lot of that misconception, or that stereotype. It comes from other girls doing certain things, because not every girl that works in the industry is the same. So if some girls, you know, are okay with letting things slide, then automatically, you know, the clients are going to think, oh, I can do that with anyone. And it doesn't work like that, because not everyone is the same. So, you know, I do think that there are certain girls that kind of make people like me look bad, because when the client meets me, then they're like, oh shit, I can't come at you the same way that I came at the girl that served on me last night. Because at the end of the day, these guys, they'll say anything to you. They're like, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. I'll throw money at you. I will pay your rent. I will do all these things. But you got to think, you got to be smart, because most of these people, they're going out every single night. And guess what? They're going out and they're telling every other bottle service of girl that I've ever seen, they're telling them the same thing. They're like, I'm going to pay your rent. I'm going to do this and that. So at the end of the day, you have to be smart and not let it get to your head. Like, oh, I'm such a pretty girl. No, there's 1,000 beautiful girls that this man might be telling that too. So you got to be humble and just respect yourself
Stay
Yeah.
grounded, stay grounded.
and stay
you know?
grounded. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true, because I remember going out with clients to the club, and they will treat everybody in the same way, and I'm like, you cannot do that, especially here in Miami, because you don't know the people, you don't know the people behind
Yes.
the whole thing, but you know, it's what the city have to offer. That's another thing that we I think battling here as well. But talk to me about that nightlife and your personal life. How how do you balance that out? How is that Stephanie working and then Stephanie going out?
Yeah. Well, I think, not that I think,
Because
I know.
I'm sorry, because I feel like when you work in a nightlife, you kind of like step back a little bit to going out, and you enjoy more
Yeah.
like something outdoors, or more
Yeah.
like stuff that you
More
didn't
chill.
recognize before, but you say, you know what, these activities now get me attention, and then I
Yeah.
want to start doing this, because going out exactly is not the thing right now. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I always tell people this when people ask me what I do during the week on my time off. And the truth is, my life looks completely different during the week than it looks at work. Because obviously I work in a party. So I can't be out partying every single day, because I'm going to get exhausted. And also, I'm a very social person. I'm a social butterfly. And everybody knows this about me.
Oh, I forgot. Instagram tell us that you were Miss Puerto Rico
No,
at some
I
point.
was not.
She
I was
competed.
not.
She competed,
Yes.
Yeah.
but she was really close.
Yeah.
Okay, she was in the final steps. Tell us about that too.
I mean, that was many moons ago. No, but I obviously have a background in pageants and all of that. I went to compete in an international pageant after Miss Puerto Rico. And yeah, I think that probably helped me a lot getting into the industry, because it put me on a grander scale of just being able to learn how to talk to people and be social and all these things. When you're competing in a pageant, you have to show your personality 1,000%, because that's what's going to make you stand out. There's like 80 beautiful girls competing with you. How are you going to stand out? You're going to stand out with the way you talk, the way you move, the way you talk to people, and all these things. So yeah, that I think that definitely helped me.
That's a lot
in the
of
work
things
do
that
now.
you really need in this industry, because
Yeah.
if you like kind of introvert, like I don't want to talk to people, or you really don't want to show off, here you need to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to be like
Yeah.
handling the situation.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Let's do a shots. Let's do this, let's do that. Because people feel like, I feel also that happened to me a lot. People sometimes wait for you to handle them, right? Okay, so what we do here now?
Yeah,
you
no,
are like kind of like the guy.
No,
the
I
guy.
didn't know that I was gonna be a babysitter to like millionaires, because no, it's the truth. Like sometimes I have tables and I'm like, there's somebody that's super rich and I have to tell them, don't do that, don't do this, don't have another shot. I kind of have to like, guide them, because sometimes they're just out of control, and I didn't know that. I found this out
and
years
it's people
later.
also that really appreciate that, because
Yeah.
when they see this type of movements and this type of strategies that you do and the way that you work with them, they kind of feel like this guy is taking care of me for real. It's not
Yeah.
only that he's serving me drinks. No, he's also looking at the people that are surrounding my table.
Yes.
My girl is going to the restaurant. He's paying attention to that. These type of
Yeah.
things make you the tip that you really want, because actually, guys, if you see that someone is taking care of you and is going above and beyond, please take care of that person, because you don't find this.
Yeah.
You don't find this type of service. This is very rare here in Miami, when guys take care of your table in the really nice way, that they see that people are coming around, they like, hey, what's going on, or things like that. Because here in Miami, anything can happen in a table in a club.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, especially if it's genuine service, and it's
Yeah.
coming from the heart,
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not gonna talk bullshit here. We're all in it also as well for the money, and we need to pay our things, of course. But at the end of the day, if you have that genuine care for people,
No, the Hondos,
they're gonna know.
the Hondos need to come through. If they're not coming through, we need to talk with someone. Call me your boss. Who is the guy we need to talk to? This car is declined.
Yes.
Give me
Yeah.
your Rolex, and then we figure it out.
And then, yeah.
Usually, when they give you that little wrinkled up, like "thank you very much," it's a 20.
That's a surprise, because sometimes I'm getting like a full 20s, and you're like, damn.
Damn.
Candela.
Yes. And they don't want you to see the bill. It's always gonna be a 20. But,
Yeah.
Okay, so Stephanie, share with us maybe some tips for females or ladies coming into this environment, to this nightlife industry, hospitality. What can you recommend to them? What can you, maybe some of the secrets that you have? Not all of them. Give us maybe one or
With
two.
all this year of experience,
Yeah.
please let the ladies know something that you say, you know what, guys, don't do this. Or I went in this situation before, I'm like, not happy about it.
Yeah, I think a little bit of advice, I would say, just to be yourself in every room, because when you're the same person at work, at home, with your friends, everywhere, it's just so much more genuine. And when you meet a client and when you're taking care of a table, you come up across as the genuine person that you are. So I think that's the most important part. There are some things that you can't teach people, and it's personality. And that is something that you might have to work on at the beginning, just to let it out, because everybody has personality, but it's just being comfortable enough to let out exactly who you are. And if I had an advice of things not to do, I would say stay away from athletes and stay away from artists and influential people, because there's a lot of
Do you think
trouble in
it's a
that.
line there that you should not be crossed?
I don't think it should be. At least for me. I mean,
Tell the
any
audience right
listen,
there what you
anybody.
just said. Tell them what you just said.
I think that if you're trying to be in the industry and you don't want problems, stay away from athletes, stay away from influential people, artists, and things like that. It's gonna bring problems, and it's not gonna be fun.
But why though? Because I feel like athletes and some musicians, no, not all of them. I don't want to say names because But some of them are really good clients and they take care of people.
I mean, they can be really good clients, but at the end of the day, are they good people?
Oh, da, 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 da.
I'm
Shots
just saying, yeah.
fired.
Heard this live here on the Industry 305 podcast, number 4.
No, they can be good people. At the end of the day, it's, the problem is, and this was an advice that somebody gave me when I first started in the industry. There was a veteran girl that trained me when I first started, and she was the one that told me, listen, whatever you do, stay away from athletes, influential people, this and that, because it's not going to end well. Most of the time. I mean, 99% of the time. And yeah, that's the advice I took, and I've been fine because of that. So...
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Don't you think that maybe now there's a certain stereotype that we're following, that you're saying because of, the whole, because it's, an athlete, a musician, or whatever, an artist. You have, basically, you need to read each person is what we're getting at here.
Yeah, you do, but I think I realized why they gave me that advice at the beginning, and it was because then years later I started noticing that all these athletes and influential people were coming into the clubs, and us, the staff, knowing that they have wives and girlfriends and maybe a baby mama that's about to give birth, and they're in the club with another girl. And the problem is the new girl doesn't even look better than their wife. And then that changes your perspective on, your relationships, on everything, because you're like, damn, this person's coming in with someone and they're married and all these things, they're committed. So I saw that
you
very
will
early
say
on.
that that's something that make you earn respect and confidence in environments such as dominant male dominance, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that make you like earn respect and
Yeah.
confidence? Do you think that being surrounded about all these things, you say, you know what, I'm gonna put my position, I'm gonna put my boundaries, and I'm gonna put my
Yeah.
things, because that type of situations that you see, that usually see, in the real life,
Yeah.
that make you earn respect from that.
I think so, because the way that I come across to all of my tables right off the bat, the first time that they meet me, they know I'm all about business. I'm not coming in to bullshit. I'm
You
not
demand
coming here to
respect.
just flirt with you.
Yeah.
No, I come in with respect. I'm going to take care of your table, whatever. If a friendship comes out of that and, we click or whatever, that's perfect. That's great. I love that. But at the end of the day, I come off a certain way where it makes people respect me right off the bat. And I feel like a lot of girls might not be strong enough to come off that way because, they might be a little shy, or they're scared to see how the other person's gonna react. But at the end of the day, it goes so much further than that, because at the end of the day, my relationships are everything, with my clients, with everybody that I worked with. So I think for me, the most important thing is to always respect yourself, and for people
yourself
to know
first.
that you respect yourself right off the bat. It can't be just, maybe later on. No. It has to be from the moment. So people know I'm about business. So they know they have to talk to me a certain way because I already came across as something. And yeah,
Of course,
I think
of
that's
course.
important.
That's amazing. I really, I'm actually like getting all this information now and thinking about so many other situations, because I think about girls that have like baby mamas. I
Yeah.
think about, that girls that are out there, or women that are out there working on this field, and sometimes I feel the pressure of I would say the pressure of the venue
Yeah.
for them to be in a certain way, right?
Yeah.
That you need to be like this with a client, you need to show this, you need to book this table, you need to do this, you need to do this, and I feel like a venue sometimes put a little pressure on you guys,
Yeah.
right?
No, they do. And because a lot of places now, if you don't book tables, they kind of weed you out, because they want you to bring business and they want clients to come back and see you and all these things. But there's a very fine line in between that, because just because you want to get clients and book tables, you don't have to be a hoe. Like, you don't have to be out there
Hello,
selling yourself.
hello.
Okay. No tienes que ser tan puta.
Ah, no, es que no.
No.
Hacho, PR es otra cosa. No, but yeah, because I know I have friends, and I feel like sometimes they need to do things that they're not really comfortable with.
Yeah.
But it's more like the industry that they're working in
Yeah,
that
they feel the
make you like
pressure.
shape you in a way that they say, you know what? Before I didn't feel comfortable with this, but
Yeah.
now I need to do it.
No, like, you need to, something for me that's really important. I have my boundaries, and I never forget where I came from. My parents gave me, great advice, and they raised me right. And I have so many morals and values that I carry with me, and I never forgot about that. Even coming into the industry, the industry is a fantasy world at the end of the day. You go to a nightclub, it's fantasy. It's literally just one night. The next day you wake up, you pee out all the alcohol, and the night is done. Whatever happened the night before, it's non-existent. So
Well, sometimes like I remember when we used to party, we used to put another night together with the other days. You remember one?
What are you talking about?
That we used to spend nights, not days, nights, like partying.
Oh no, of course. I mean,
Because Miami, you start on the club, and then you go to the after party, and then the other after party, and the other after party, and then you end up in a penthouse. And next thing you know, you're naked in a bed, and you don't know where you're at.
I mean, I don't know anything about that, but you do. This.
it's you can get easily involved in just a lot of things at once, especially if you're not
Oof.
grounded.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad you said that about the whole moral thing, and I can relate to that because I feel the same way. I'm a person that because of the way I was brought up and how my parents
Y
raised
tú eres
me.
colombiano.
Y yo soy colombiano, very
Yeah.
traditional, old school parents that,
Yeah.
I'm going to give all my clients always the best service, very genuine, and, if I can try to provide above and beyond service, I always do.
Yeah.
What piece of advice, or maybe another question for you, Stephanie, what piece of advice or mentorship that maybe you have received along the way that you can share with us and share with the public?
I
Something that
think,
holds to your heart.
yeah, I think honestly, just staying true to yourself and what you said about values and knowing where you come from, I think is very important because all of that spills out the moment that you start talking to people. And I always come across very genuine because I am a genuine person. It's not just because I look a certain way or whatever. And for me, I love the fact that when people talk to me, they're like, oh, she's very different from what I thought she was.
Okay.
Because obviously I have a certain look about myself. I look very Miami.
That's it.
And yeah, so I feel that's the
PR
most
es
important
otra
part.
cosa.
Sí, PR es otra cosa.
Tell, Stephanie, dilo ahí como es.
Hacho, PR es otra cosa.
Esto no es Bad Bunny, aquí lo tenemos en vivo, aquí, caballero.
The NSG 305.
Yes.
Talk to me, Carlos.
I don't know what to tell you. I've been thinking about a lot of stuff that Stephanie been saying that is true because, especially myself, I see a lot of traumas because of this, of this environment, of this type of people that work in a lot of girls. Such a competitive field, right?
Yeah.
Because, like you say, it's a lot of pretty girls in Miami,
Yeah.
but not everybody can do the same job,
Yeah.
right? So working in a social competitive environment, being, working with another girls, how do you get along with all these besties? How is that go back and forth with those, because I'm pretty sure like if this client coming through for me, then you don't have that section. I need to go to see with my girl if she want to share with me, or how does that work in a nightlife?
Yeah, I honestly, I always thought that working with women was going to be very difficult, and obviously women, we have a lot of different personalities, and when you put all of that in one room, it's,
a lot of estrogen.
yeah, it's just a lot of estrogen, and it can get a little difficult at times, but I've always been a girl's girl. So for me, it's been really easy to work with girls because I'm not envious. I don't envy what anybody has. If I see a beautiful girl, I give her props. I'm like, you're fucking beautiful you're killing it, you know? And I think for me, that's really important when you're working with women because
Like
you're not.
compliment them.
Yes, and you're not, instead of looking at someone and thinking, oh, I got to be better than them and I got to do this. No, if you see somebody that's doing a little bit better than you in certain areas, you need to learn from them. That's the smart way to do it because I mean, if you're dumb, then obviously you're going to be envious and you're going to pull back. And no, you need to sit with other women that are doing better than you and learn from them because if you don't, how are you going to get better? How are you going to grow? You can't. So I think for me, it's been, I honestly, I get along with different types of people. I will say that. It's a part of my personality. And I think that's why I've been so successful in the industry and why I've worked for so long. All of my managers from every other job I've had, they've always tried to hire me wherever they go, you know? And it's because I'm dependable and because I always get along with the staff because I'm just a girl's girl. And I can work with guys too, of course, because obviously I deal with men all the time, every single day. So I think it's just you just have to be open, you know, for all different kinds of people and know that everybody has a different personality for a reason. You don't know where this person came from. You don't know what their background is. You don't know how they grew up. I had a great childhood. I grew up in possibly the best environment. Puerto Rico for me was everything. And I think not everybody comes from the same place. So you also have to think of that when people are being mean towards you, when they're being a certain way, they like to create drama and they like to be crazy and all these things. Sometimes I look at that and I'm not really mad. I'm just kind of like, damn, I kind of feel sorry for you because you're fighting all these demons and you're projecting that on other people. So for me, it's just, I take a step back and I just let them be. I can't fix people, so.
Facts.
That's
Facts
very
being
smart.
thrown
Yeah,
out
very
here.
smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Facts. Don't let your emotions control you.
Control
That's
you, yeah.
super important, I think, in
Yeah.
this industry because, like you said, we need to all learn from each other.
Yeah.
You know, certain techniques that maybe you do. Guys, we can pick up techniques from women too. You know, the way they sell and vice versa. We're all here to
Yeah.
do the same thing: make
Well,
money, make a living, and make guests happy. So
What she said was very important for me because I think that's one of the most important things. Once you see that somebody else is something different, that doesn't mean that they probably do it better than you or don't see it in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I see it in the way that what I can get from these type of people that I can just put it on myself, modify a little bit, and
Yeah.
then project it myself. I
Yeah.
don't see it as a competition or anything like
Yeah.
that. I just like, let's work together. Let's see
Yeah.
what we can do from there. And if you make it happen, I'm happy for you. If
Yeah.
you guys make it happen, I'm happy because I know in this industry it's about rotation. One day it's gonna come
Yeah.
to you, and then you're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
But I will, I agree with you in that. I never
about the
feel.
energy.
No,
I
yeah.
never feel in that way that when I see someone making that amount of money or making more money and having the best clients, I'm just like learn from each person and see where's the best from out of that.
Yeah, and for me, I also think that I have the friends that I have. I made great friends in the industry. Actually, basically all of my friends work in the industry, most of them, and I'm friends with the best. Like my friends are the sharks of the industry, the best of the best, and I'm friends with them for a reason, and it's because I don't like being friends with lazy people. I don't like being friends with people that are focused on creating drama and doing this. I like people who show up to work and actually work their ass off. If I see that they're not like that, then we have nothing in common. So all of my friends are kind of on the same tip as me. And yeah, and I've learned so much from them and I keep learning from them every day. I love working
that.
with
They
them.
push you to be better every day, right?
Yeah, of course.
Well, you learn from there. I love it.
Share maybe the last thing right now, the last piece of advice that you would give to a woman, starting in this industry. Again, I think we've already kind of beat this topic to death, but just your final kind of advice that you would tell someone. Hey, start off as this, but don't just settle with this. Move forward. What is your last advice?
Yeah, I think just being really confident in your work and in being yourself. And also, if you're not happy in a place, get the fuck out. because I learned this not so long ago. I had a job that I absolutely hated, and I didn't feel like I was appreciated. And I stayed there because I was like, no, I need the job, I need the money, this and that. And at the end of the day, it was killing my spirit. And I realized I don't have to be here. I have to open up the space for something better to come in. And it happened that way. Just the universe works in mysterious ways where, you know, I left that job. I've never left a job just like quitting randomly. And I've always left all of my jobs, you know, giving the 2 weeks and all these things, trying to be as professional and cordial as possible. But it got to the point where I said, this is not for me. You guys aren't treating me right. So goodbye.
You need to get out of the comfort zone. That's it. You make a drastically decision, but work
Yeah.
for you.
Scary,
Yeah.
scary in the
It-
beginning.
it's
No,
scary.
and you can't let.
And to be
yeah.
honest, she really touched a topic that is very like fragile for me in the way that sometimes people don't leave the place where they are because they feel like it's nothing else behind that.
Yeah.
It's like I made the money here, I'm safe, this and that, but they don't see if something is better around the corner.
Yeah.
How are you gonna see it if you like stepping in this side and then looking to the future?
No, yeah.
And I feel like you have to have balls. In this case, for
Yeah.
you have to have a lot of strength because not a lot of people get to do that and
Yeah.
get to see the glory because
Yeah.
they're scared.
Yeah.
And that I feel like that's what people need the most.
Yeah.
Balls.
Yeah.
Stephanie, one question that came out to my mind now. You've been a model, you've been a miss, you've been in this industry for a while. Tell me a career that you would like to work if you never touch bases with this hospitality business. Tell me something that, I would like to do this.
Wow. Okay. So I I went to school for public relations, and I think I would have probably gone down that career path because I think it's something that just comes natural to
Like
me.
a journalist?
No, not a journalist. I started going to school for communications, and one of my professors told me, you can't be in journalism because you're gonna be behind a computer, writing.
What do you think made him tell you that? What he saw in you that you say, you know what, Stephanie, get rid of this class right now.
Well, I was kind of like the class clown, and it not just that, but I had so much personality, and my personality was so big that it was kind of overflowing, and it just got to the point where they're like, I think you should change your major because it's not. We don't think that you're gonna thrive in this. You're gonna thrive so much more in that. So I think I would have been doing something along the lines of that. Probably
PR?
be PR for, I don't know, athletes or artists or things like that. So.
Oh, here we go back with the athletes now.
Oh, no.
Now
No,
you
no,
want to work for
Full
them.
circle.
No, yeah, full circle. Yeah, but no, I honestly, I just want to wait their tables and that's it. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Stephanie, the most amount of money that you make in Miami as a nightclub service.
Oh,
Here we
man.
go.
Like in one night?
Yeah, like you say, oh my God, look at that cash.
Ah, damn. In Miami, let me think. I think in one night, probably like 7K. In one night.
For yourself, or you like sharing
for
the whole
myself.
thing? For myself.
For myself.
$70,000.
No, 7K.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I say 70,000. I'm
Listen,
like,
if I made
where we
70K
need
in
to
one
go,
night,
where
I
we
wouldn't
need to
be here.
sign.
If I made 70K in one night, I would not be here. I promise.
But when I went, you mentioned Vegas at the beginning of the podcast, and I heard stories because one day I went to the casting over there. By the way, we're like a towel group, like 1,000 people, all of them
Yeah.
looking perfect, models everywhere.
It looked like a fitness competition?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you cannot be like a little bit more, a little bit less because
No.
they're like, no, get out of
You
the
need
line.
to have abs and.
No, it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
crazy. Like this is like a Hollywood movie or what's going
Yeah.
on? So they were telling me there, like you see crazy stuff in Vegas too, like $100 and something thousand tips
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But $7,000 in Miami is a lot.
Yeah.
For you, a lot.
Yeah.
For you, a lot. I remember we made good money with Canelo. Shout out to Saul. Vamos Mexico. Saul blessed us really well. It's like 10K.
Okay.
So that was something that, that we make it happen with him.
Yeah, that's great.
But it's a lot of money. You can make a lot of money.
Yeah, no, I've obviously, I've worked the nights where we've had clients tip, 25, 30K, whatever. But I've mainly worked in venues where we split our tips evenly with everyone. I feel like the industry changing a little bit now because a lot of places let you keep your own over tips. But I mean, for as long as I've worked, it was pretty much the same. So yeah, I mean, we've done some crazy work.
And the biggest stuff that you saw here in Miami, like working on a club, that you as a server or someone that you know.
I probably think maybe like 200K.
$200,000.
Is probably the
What do you
craziest.
spend on a club? $200,000. What do
Actually,
you buy it on the club
so
for $200,000?
I have a story with that. So I worked one night. This was many years ago, where we had a client. He came in. We had no idea who he was because most of the people that we know that come to spend a lot of money, we know exactly who they are. And this guy just randomly came in. He spent 60K. It was still the middle of the night. And we had an artist, like a rapper, that day hosting. And he was going to perform on the stage, like on the DJ booth. And the client asked, so what do I have to do to get on stage with the artist when he performs?
Wow. He
Yeah.
was really trying to make it happen to be on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah. No, he was like, I want to do this. I don't know if that was his favorite artist. I have no idea.
Things you see here in Miami, by the way.
Yeah. So, yeah, we basically told him he had to buy the most expensive bottle we had in the house. And at the time, it was the Ace of Spades 15 liter, and it was $100,000.
How do you call it? That's Matusalén?
Hold on.
I don't know.
Matusalén is 6 liters, no? Jeroboam is 6 liter. Matusalén is like, I think it's 15.
No,
Or
Jeroboam is 3 liters.
3 liters.
Yeah.
And then Matusalén is like 6 liter. And then it's another one.
And it's, yes.
We
I
don't see
forgot.
we don't
the
see
answer
these
to this
things, bro. We
question.
don't even know about these things, bro. She's talking about
Yeah.
$200,000
And
tab,
I
bro.
will say this. So it was crazy because I was like, oh, no, this card's going to decline for sure because it's so much money. You're swiping for $100,000. You're not swiping for 10. You're swiping for 100.
You buying a house.
So exactly.
Yes.
So he,
an apartment.
the card was swiped.
We're not here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe in Florida,
yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
200,000 here gave you like a little
Yeah.
efficiency.
Yeah. No, but the card was swiped and it went through
Was it
on the
black
first
card?
swipe. Yes.
Oh, he
Very hacer.
probably said.
I mean, it was a
thought
black
gonna be
card,
more.
but I'm going to say this. There are black cards that have declined
Oh, yeah.
because I've had them. So it's,
So for
you never
those
know.
who say that black cars never decline,
Yeah.
now you see
I think you need to pay your card.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
a lot of debt on that car.
Take the minimum payment.
Yeah.
Cuéntame. So, I don't know. I think anything else that maybe you have to share with us, Stephanie? Actually, we appreciate you coming on board with us. This is
Thank you.
truly a special episode because, first of all, the first woman to appear in our podcast and a woman that has so much knowledge and experience. You've heard a lot of, advice, recommendations. Carlos, what do you think about what we just shot today?
It's a lot of knowledge. I'm trying to process everything right now because, I've been hearing all these stories and it's crazy how difficult it is for, a woman to step in this environment full of men. And, especially if you have someone at home waiting that don't really understand what you're doing,
Yeah.
Especially for you guys working on a club and then you came home late at night, but you
Yeah.
came with the bread. And then they like, I kind of have to play this dumb stuff, but I'm not really happy with what she's doing. Guys, don't get mad. She's not really out there puteando con anybody,
Yeah.
She's just really making that money. It is
Yeah.
what it is, it's Miami. And I feel like if you live in a city where constantly it's about entertainment and happiness and all these situations that work for tourists or for people that come here, because let's be real, people come to Miami. Yeah, it's a beautiful weather, this and that. But people come here to party.
The comfort
Yeah.
and
And they
experience.
party hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they go to the club, they want to do stuff that they don't even do in their hometown.
Yeah.
They just want to do it here to explore whatever they have in that moment. And let's go, like cross every line that is possible to cross. And I
Yeah.
feel for us working on this battlefield, it's kind of like we learn a lot and we earn that, respect, that how to treat people. Because it happened to me that you going out there and people don't have personality at all.
Yeah.
When you're going out there, you need to even in a group or you're being a tourist somewhere and you kind of have to take the lead in the situation and say, hey guys, let's go in this way because this is the way to go.
Yeah.
People are just standing there looking at each other, like what's
Yeah.
going on. And when you work in this hospitality business, make you create response right away, make you
Yeah.
shape you in the way that you need to really work hard to make a living and also show people the way to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think for girls too, you can't just rely on being pretty because pretty is only going to get you so far. And I hate to say this, but Miami has so many beautiful girls. I see just tens every single day that I work. But for some reason, every time that I talk to a girl that's I'm like, wow, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. They don't have personality or they're scared to let it out because, I don't know, they're scared of being misjudged or they're just scared to be themselves. And that's not how you're going to get far in life. You have to be yourself and let people go on with that. You have to be true to yourself. I think that's the most important.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephanie from Puerto Rico with us today. We're going to go a little commercial pause and we're going to come back in a second.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Stephanie. And
Thank
we'll
you.
be right back.
BCA Accounting Group, thank you guys. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. I really appreciate our sponsor for making all this happen and happy to share all this new episode with you. Thanks to you guys.
Check them out. Check them out if you want to get your tax done, anything related with setting up an LLC. BC Accounting is where it's at. We're going to leave all the links down below. Thank you very much for making everything happen. Thank you, guys. So, back at it, Stephanie, quick question. So, after all these years of experience of being in this industry, I'm sure you have a lot of crazy stories to tell us or to tell the public, But tell us the one that stood out the most that you said, cojones.
So, obviously I have a lot of crazy stories, but I think the one that stood the most out, I was working at this club. It's a very, very famous club. And I wasn't there that night, but I heard it from my coworkers. And there was this man, it was his bachelor party, and he was standing on the banquette just having a good time and dancing and doing all these things. And he actually fell on top of the table, flat on his back. And there was a Magnum bottle of Grey Goose on the table. And when he fell back, the bottle actually went through his pants and up his behind.
What do you mean? Went through his ass?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, when you put it that way, yes.
What?
I didn't want to say it, but
No,
you did.
imagine you
so.
falling back and no way,
Yeah.
bro. Qué reguero
It was
de
like a-
mierda, seguro.
It was a freak accident. There's a name for that, but I forgot what it's called. But there's a name for when something just goes flush through
Oh
clothing
my
or a piece of
God.
fabric or
¿Tú te
whatever.
imaginas ese
and-
tipo? Oye, do you remember your first night? Yeah, a bottle of Grey Goose went through my ass.
No, and the crazy.
Magnum.
No, you're not Magnum. Yeah, no, that's it. Could have been.
Damn.
It wasn't the small one,
Wow,
But
bro. How
what
crazy.
the craziest part is that he didn't even want to go home. He wanted to keep partying. They brought him to the back of the house and they had him in a wheelchair, whatever. And he was like, no,
Oh
I want to
my
go out there. And he was just
God.
dripping and blood and all kinds of liquids.
Oh, my
Qué
So,
clase
yeah.
de chisme,
I think that's
bro.
probably the craziest story.
Ese tipo hay que
Yeah.
hacerle, do you know the test of the bathtub? We close all your holes and we just leave the one in the ass floating. If you go to bubbles on that ass, that's it. You're not safe, my friend. That's it. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
I didn't know about this test.
That's the test that you do.
No, I'm very concerned. Is everything okay at home? Like,
Bro, imagine. No, yeah, I was in Vegas and, I just fell back and a bottle of Grey Goose Magnum just went through my ass.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think anything is ever going to top that. From
Wow.
my perspective.
That was crazy. That was really crazy. And, it's hard because being present in that situation, like helping this guy, doing everything, I feel like we are the first response. We are the first response. We are the first one dealing with all these situations before the manager or anyone arrive. And I feel like it's very hard because when the team comes around and all these new laws are in now, I feel like it's unfair for people now when they say, okay, these people were there, they deserve the real tip. Now with all these new laws, I feel like it's unfair for people because you really not receive that amount of money that people see on the checks, or when you have the service charge already add on the top, that money doesn't go to you. What do you think about that situation in Miami, like with so many places, like including the tip and doing this extra tip pool and all that stuff? How do you think you deal with that, or what is your concept about that?
Not really new, by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
It's a couple of years already, no? Like more,
mean,
a lot.
ever
It's
since
a lot
I've
of
been
time.
working, or since I moved down here.
Yes,
to
bro.
Boston,
I feel it's crazy. I feel sometimes you deserve more money for what you do, and they just give you a little.
yeah.
Because the law said that the new law said that if the restaurant include the tip, they can do whatever they want with it. I'm not familiar with it. What do you think?
Yeah, obviously I had to learn. I wanted to do that for me because obviously that's the industry that I work in. So I made sure that I really studied my laws on service and for service employees. And the Florida law states that the venue can do whatever they want with the service charge. It doesn't necessarily have to go to the wait staff. It can go straight to the venue and they don't have to give you a dime out of it. So for me, I think that's very unfair. I mean, I feel like a lot of places are okay and they're good with giving them a certain percentage. I really don't think that a venue should be keeping a service charge if they're not providing the service. I think the people providing the service are the ones that are supposed to get it. I worked in a place, and this was a place that I actually quit, and I told them to fuck off. Because we didn't get any of the service charge. We only relied on our overtips. And then the problem is that the customers will come in and they'll see the service charge, and unless you tell them exactly what's up, they have no idea. So they're like, oh, there's a 20% included, 22, 25, whatever the venue wants. That money is not all going to the service staff. It can be divided however they want. So whatever you're leaving as an extra tip, or not even an extra tip, sometimes it's their whole tip, because that's what happened to me at that place. So just because it's a law doesn't mean it's ethical. And that's basically what I told them when I quit, because it was not fair. I had never seen that before. So that
Imagine you going to the struggle to serve the customer, doing everything, like facing the situations that they have on the table, whatever. Sometimes the guy's mad at the girl, whatever, and then you're stepping in, trying to fix everything just with a couple shots or whatever. And then at the end of the day, you have the tip included already. But I feel like it's really hard for people sometimes to explain this to customers, especially when this in the several situation that they are in the position to understand this type of speech right now.
Yeah, because they're drunk and they're, So I've made it very, obviously I have a lot of experience, so I've made it very, very small and very clear, the message that I tell them, and I tell everybody the exact same thing. It's very short so that they understand what they're agreeing to. And I understand them sometimes, because at the end of the day, if you have a 25-20 whatever it is of a service charge, you're like, okay, then that's the tip. I'm not gonna tip anymore, because that's already a huge amount if on a tab, period. So I understand people in that sense, but I think it's in our best interest to explain that to them. So I always make sure that I do that.
And it's an uncomfortable conversation too.
It
because,
is.
You know, how deep do you want to get into the explanation? You know,
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to be risking also. your job. You know,
Yeah.
the management will find out, and then they'll say, "Oh, well, you are saying it the wrong way, and
Yeah.
it's not true, but technically it is true." And all
Yeah.
these little fine lines that
Yeah.
it's unfortunate, but this
Sometimes you just get pissed and say, you know what, don't leave me shit. You just get out of here. That's
Yeah.
it. I don't want to have all this time explaining to you that they're not going to give me shit from what is included here.
Yeah.
But it's hard. And more hard than that is like be there for the customer. Like, oh, yeah, get me the number of that girl. Bring those girls to my table.
Yeah.
Find out this for me. My guy's outside. Come,
Bring me girls.
You know, bring him
Yeah.
in. Then you're doing all these things that are kind of your job, but at the same time you're doing that the extra mile
Yeah.
because you know you don't need to do all those stuff, and then they don't really appreciate that. That's fucked up for me.
But you know
like-
what? I will say this, that some people, and this is one of the worst excuses I've heard, but I hear it all the time, that people will come in and they'll drop 5K on a table, and then when it's time for them to tip, they're like, I don't have any more money. And then I'll see their stories, or I'll find out through someone else that they went to 11 after and got a table. And I'm like,
And tip the other girl.
Exactly. No, and they didn't have any money, thank God. So I'm like, at the end of the day, when people tell me that, sometimes I'm like, so you're making really bad financial decisions for yourself, because at the end of the day, if you're coming to the club and you only had 5K in your pocket, like, you're kind of fucked up.
Do you think it's more like people or this guest, whatever, in this position, like he comes to the table, he start the night, whatever, he start flirting with you, he see that you don't really follow in that pattern, that, you know, that flirting with him already or whatever. Do you think that really affect the tip at the time that close out that tab that you say, you know what, I was not really like that sassy with this guy and he was requesting that from me. Do you think that fuck up the tip sometimes?
Yeah, I think it definitely does. But obviously this happens to me all the time, but at the end of the day, what's for me is not going to pass me. So at the end of the day, I think if somebody's not going to tip you, they're not going to do it, period. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. They're just not going to come through. So whenever people tell me, oh, yeah, I'll tip you cash later, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'm very straightforward. At the end, I'm like, so you told me you were going to give me cash. Like, what's up?
What is it?
This is for
No,
the
yeah, you
Straight
got to
up,
be
like,
like
what is
that.
it?
Like,
Yes.
you got to be a shark, because at the end of the day, closed mouths don't get fed. So if you are somebody that stays quiet and you kind of take it in and you're like, oh, he said he's going to take care of me later, and you're just trusting them on that, you can't do it. You have to talk. And even if you say it and they don't give you anything, then it's like, all right, guy, like, fuck you, whatever. I do not like, personally, I don't like men that don't keep their word. So when people tell me, oh, yeah, I'm going to give you cash, I'm going to take your word for it. And then if you don't, I'm going to be like, well, I feel really sorry for you because you're not a man of your word. And that's a really ugly trait to have as a man, period, in every aspect of your life.
100%.
Just to sum it up, basically, for the wait staff out there, when they tell you, I'm going to take care of you at the end, it's not going to happen. 99.9% of the time, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to
Sometimes
happen.
but it's
yeah.
really hard. It's really hard.
There's
It's really
a 1%,
hard.
yes,
Yeah.
but it's the person that, like we have mentioned in the other podcast, in the other episodes, hey, you know, I have a very, you're going to be my server? You're going to be taking care of us? Perfect. I have a
Yeah.
really special dinner, you know, this, and this. Here's a little help. You know, I'm going to take care of you more at the end, but make sure you're on
Yeah.
top of us.
I think I think it's important too to call people out, because I mean, I have no filter because I'm very respectful. But at the end of the day, if people tell me they're going to do something, I expect them to actually do it and not just, you know, not do it. So for me, I always call people out, and I really don't give a shit, because if you told me you're going to do something, then fucking do it.
Let's do
If
it.
you don't, then yeah.
And I feel like
I'm
that
going to make you
excuse-
feel bad. I'm going to make you feel like shit, because if I ask you for a tip or for money one last time that you told me that you agreed to, I didn't ask for it.
After all these
you were the
things-
one that told me that you were going to give it to me. If I call you out on that and you still don't do it, like, you're a piece of
That's it. That's it. Stephanie say it, guys.
That's it.
shit. Yeah.
And I feel, yes, it's like,
Don't tell people that you're going to give them money when you don't have it, or when you're just not going to give it to them. Just shut the fuck up.
and I feel I feel that that's a perfect excuse for people that, oh, I don't have cash. I don't have cash with me. Excuse
I have
me.
Zelle, I have Venmo,
Listen,
I have Cash App,
we're
whatever
in
you want, my love.
2025. We have like 5, 6 different apps that you can send money through it. You just
Yeah.
don't want to do it.
It's not
Let's
a-
be
yeah.
honest.
I'll
It's
pull
Yeah.
up my ledger and you can pay me in Bitcoin.
It's just an
Well,
excuse.
Bro, I have like a 5-6 QRs and different apps. Just like go
Yeah.
straight to my bank. You know, like
And if you don't have the money, like, just don't go out. Just stay home, honestly. If you don't have money to tip, Jay-Z actually said something that I've always taken in, and it kind of has to do with the industry. If you cannot afford something 3, 4, 5 times, then you can't afford it, period.
Wow.
Like, if you buy something and you can't afford it, to buy it 3, 4, 5 times, then you can't afford it. So
definitely not.
yeah.
For real. For real. Yeah.
If
Why
you get a
say you're gonna
15K
afford it?
table and you don't have 100K in your bank account, then you can't afford it.
Why are you going out first of all in Miami?
Well, that's
Yeah.
the culture that this place shows. You know, people renting Lamborghinis to show off that they made it when they're living 3 or 4 people in Brickell.
I will say this. There's a lot of people I've always seen, and I've seen this happen throughout the years. There are clients that will blow so much money. They'll go to the club and spend 100K every single night, and everyone's like, and they'll have their moment. They'll have it for maybe a year, 2 years, whatever, maybe even a couple of months. But then after that, you never hear from them again. And it's because they blew through all their shit, and then now they don't have anything. Like, most of the clients that I had at the beginning when I first started this, I don't even know where they are.
I feel like people get addicted to it because in
Yeah.
Miami, people get addicted to going out. Because
Yeah.
when you have money that you have money to spend and you sit on a table and you spend money and you get bottles
Yeah.
and you start knowing people that obviously these people are there just because you're there with
Yeah.
that environment. That's it. Because when you get out, nobody's there for you. But I feel like people get addicted with this because I've been seeing customers so many times like, hey, why you don't get a table anymore? Like,
Yeah.
that momentum on him just passed.
Yeah.
And then he just here as a
Yeah.
regular customer, and then that's just leaving his mind that,
Yeah.
I used to come here and spend money, but it's not like that anymore. I
It's-
prefer
yeah.
the other way, like go one night, throw everything on the
Yeah.
table, and then get out,
Yeah.
and then, it is what it is.
Yeah, I feel for me, I think the clients that I see consistently, maybe they might get a table every single weekend or maybe once a month or something like that. When I see them just going to places consistently, that's how I know that they're good, because for years they've been going out. They haven't been spending their money, just in a terrible way. But if you see them consistently throughout time, here and there, those are probably the people that are being the smartest with their money. And that's how you know that somebody, has a career, is professional, is CEO of a company or something, because these people that blow money all at once and then they're done, it's probably not even legal what they're doing. So
Sometimes, people spend the money here, the money that they get somehow, some way.
yeah.
But the club is like, it's dark. It's a darker space.
Yeah.
It's a tough world, that we are working in, but it's always a stepping stone, This is what we always talked about in the past, that, hey, take this opportunity to make your money, make right decisions, save, look towards the future. You have a passion in life, work towards it. Don't just stay in this comfort zone that we can easily fall ourselves into.
Yeah.
Because this quick money is addicting, and
Yeah.
1 year can pass, 2 years. Next thing you know, we're like, holy shit, I've been at this place for 5 years,
Yeah.
10 years, and nothing has changed in your life. So this is something that comes straight from the heart. Make sure you work towards your goals and take each day, day by day, work at it. Because it's not going to come at once.
If you need to go back to your hometown, you will do the same job that you do here?
Well, my hometown, there's nothing to do but beach. Like,
Okay.
it's literally just a beach and really good places to eat, and that's it. So I come from a really small hometown. It probably has like 9,000 people. So there in Puerto Rico, there's not really a culture of nightlife and bottle service. That doesn't really exist there. There's maybe like 2 clubs in the whole island that actually do that. But yeah, if I hadn't moved to the States, I would have never done this.
And if you have to pick like one country, because I'm pretty sure you've been around the world in a couple countries, pick one country that you say, you know what, if I do the same that I do here, I would like to do it in this country specifically. Which country do you say have the another type of nightlife like Vegas or maybe like Miami? The countries that you've been for sure.
I just don't think that there's anywhere like this, like the States. No, because obviously the tipping culture here is very different from everywhere else. And let's say I was in Ibiza for 8 months back in 2015, and I saw how the culture is there, whatever. But they get paid a flat rate, they get paid on salary, so they get paid well, but they don't have that advantage that we have to make more money. So I think just because of the tipping culture in the States, it makes it a little better for us in a sense, sometimes, because obviously we have to take our losses sometimes, but I just don't think it's like this anywhere else in the world.
We heard from Stephanie, Americans are the best tippers in the world.
Yeah.
It is what
and
it is.
if you no, and this is really important. If you come to America, if you come to the United States and you're from somewhere else, you come from Europe, Brazil, wherever it is, you have to adjust to the tipping culture of that country, because we do it when we go there. Because there are countries and there are places that they don't like to be tipped. Like I heard in Japan, if you tip someone, it's actually...
They get mad at you?
No, it's offensive because they feel like you're telling them you don't have money, you're just a server, here you go. But in the States, it's different. So just the way that we adapt to the cultures of other countries when we visit, I think they need to do the same here.
God bless America.
Yeah.
If you say one country that is the worst for you tipping,
Oh, man. No, I'm going to piss a lot of people off.
you need to say. You need
No,
to say.
I
I know what
know,
you're gonna
I
say. I know what you're gonna
Oh,
say.
damn.
Sorry, all my friends. Sorry, all my friends that are from the country that she's about to say, but it is true. So
No. Maybe If
Okay.
you don't want to say it,
I can say it. I don't care. Okay, well...
let's do it easy for you. Give me 3. The first one, the second place, and the third place.
Oof, no, I mean, that's hard because the world is a really
Okay,
big
let's
place.
do it one. Let's do one.
I think Brazilians don't really tip at all.
Why?
I've only had
I want to
maybe-
go to Brazil. Tell me
No,
why.
I've had maybe one Brazilian client, and I was very surprised. I was like, wow, God bless you. Like, you're amazing, because it's just what it is. I had that misconception, not because I heard about it, because I had seen it. And just, I think Europeans in general, because there's no tipping culture there. Yeah. But that's what I say. Like, when you travel somewhere, at least for me, I'm not just a tourist, I'm a traveler. So I make sure that I read what the tipping culture is. I learn the place before I go there, so I know what to do. And I feel like people need to do the same. And if you don't, then you're just uneducated. You don't want to learn anything else outside of what you know, which is dumb.
Amazing. All right, Stephanie, thank you so much, for real. We learned so much with you here. We're really happy that you accept this invitation again. Thank you. We're really honored that you're here. Yeah. I feel like being our first female guest is gonna, open a lot of doors out there to, for people that are being like sending us messages. Oh, you need to bring a girl, you need to bring a woman, that way they can talk. Now, here she is. She said, oh.
En vivo y a todo color.
No. Oye, y directamente de la Isla del Encanto. Thank you for real. Thank you.
This is, this is a huge stepping stone for us because, last episode we brought in our first guest. Now we're bringing the first woman guest to our episode, to our podcast, and we're just going to keep moving forward. And actually, to be quite honest, I almost see it as if she could be a potential future guest as well, because
she's gonna be here. She's gonna be around.
Leave any comments down below if you maybe want to ask a couple questions, or you want to hear a couple questions in the next episode. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for joining us. And this is the Industry 305. Stephanie, last words. What do you think?
No,
don't say Stephanie last words. She's gonna keep speaking out there. What do you mean?
Yeah, you're not not gonna get
She's
rid
gonna
of me
keep
that
talking.
easy.
Get short and sweet.
You're not gonna get rid of me that easy, okay? No, thank you guys for having me. I had so much fun, and I love touching on these topics because I feel it's things that we don't get to talk about. It doesn't get to be aired out in public, not just for people in the industry, but people from outside too. So yeah, thank you so much. I had a great
Thank
time.
you. See you guys soon. Stay tuned.